Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a sort of philosophical sequel chat to my review of this, the Chineke Orchestra's recording of Florence Price's First Symphony and Piano Concerto in one movement. I just think it's appropriate to do a little talk since I've seen some cynicism wafting its way through the comments when I do these Florence Price and other African-American type things, that first of all, we are pandering, and second of all, that they're only getting attention because they are black, and third, that the music really isn't that good anyway and doesn't deserve as much attention as it gets. So, I think that none of those things are true. We are not pandering. They are getting attention because they're black, yes, but because they deserve it. And the fact that they're black is nice, but not the only story. And the music really is quite good. But there is another issue that I want to throw out there, and I really believe this with my heart, and so I want to talk to you about it, which is, why is this African music, the music of black composers, important, particularly black American composers, why it matters to us? And the only way that I can really describe it or explain it is by telling a story, and telling it from my own personal perspective. My sister did a year abroad, a year of study abroad or semester abroad in the UK. She was basically in the UK, but she bought a Eurail pass with her friend. And they traveled throughout Europe, stopping everywhere and seeing everything. And when they got to Amsterdam, her friend was looking at the various museums and cathedrals and whatnot, and she went to the Anne Frank house, the hidden annex where Anne Frank and her family hid out before the Nazis got them, and she was struck by something. She had an overwhelming feeling of sort of sadness and melancholy about it. And she told me, she said, I realized then that here was my friend. She was, Catholic, and she was running around looking at all of these glorious buildings and cathedrals and things and, tributes to, Christian Europe. And her heritage as a Jew was concentration camps. It was the Anne Frank house. It was sites where things were but had been destroyed. It was rubble. It was destruction. It was death. But there were moments, right? There were moments, synagogues that had been preserved, things that were still around, elements of the culture that survived against all odds. No matter how oppressive or horrifying things got, there was beauty there. There was life. And that's how I feel about the African-American musical heritage, the African-American classical composers, and why they matter. They matter because, despite the appalling prejudice that they faced, and someone like Florence Price, who was both female and black, I mean, it was the double whammy in the 1920s and 30s when she was composing. Despite all of that, they created a fantastic repertoire of beautiful music. There's hope, there's life, there's beauty, all of those qualities shine forth in that music, and it's unique. It has its own special qualities, it has its own syntax, its own language, its personal qualities, which are really impressive. And composers like Joplin and William Grant Still and Dawson and Price and that school of composers who were asking, as Jews were in Europe, for nothing more than the right of participation, to be a part of the culture in which they lived. And everyone was screaming at them, no, you don't have a right to be a part of this culture in which you're living. And they said, yes, we do. And they said, yes, we do, by creating wonderful art. I think that is such a shining example of endurance, of intelligence, of faith, of all of the good qualities in humanity. I really do. And so I'm inclined, I freely admit my bias, I am inclined to give this music extra consideration and to show, the fact that I care about it, that other people should care about it too. It's like looking at the Venus de Milo. I mean, this music, it may not be perfect. How could it be? I mean, these people, they were nothing but dumped on. They had virtually no opportunities to be performed. They had no culture supporting them or lifting them up or giving them any kind of encouragement. But they didn't care. They created art anyway. And like the Venus de Milo, it doesn't matter that it's missing a couple arms, maybe its head fell off. It's beautiful nonetheless. It's a beautiful torso. What they achieved, however much they achieved, is powerful. Powerful and a tribute to the resiliency of the human spirit. And that's how I feel about it. So yes, I am going to talk about this music. I am going to support this music. I'm going to support the Chineke Orchestra, which consists of African and multi-ethnic people who would not normally have much of an opportunity to participate in the still rather lily-white world of classical music, and who also would not have the encouragement to try to do it. Because let's not kid ourselves. I mean, African American, particularly musical culture, is astounding. I mean, they gave us jazz, they gave us popular music, they gave us hip hop, they gave us fantastic musical media and styles, but always in the popular realm, because the classical realm was the realm of elitist snottery and was closed off. And so not only was there pressure from our side, from the white side, telling them, no, you cannot participate, there's also their own prejudice, which tells them that they don't want to seem too white. They don't want to participate. It's not theirs. They have no right of participation. They should look elsewhere. And that's a sad thing. Nobody should ever be told you cannot when it comes to the arts, ever. They should have the opportunity, everyone should have the opportunity to simply feel the music that moves them, participate in whatever way they possibly can, and if they have talent, that talent should be encouraged in every possible way from all sectors of society, without prejudice, without bias, without fear, without any kind of negativity. There's enough negativity in the world. And so that's just my expression. I just wanted to take a moment to say that, to throw that out there, because I just feel very, very deeply that the personal qualities of this music, its special qualities, the voice with which it speaks, is extraordinary. And it's universal. It's absolutely universal. I mean, Shostakovich, let me just finish by saying, remember Shostakovich, when asked why he so often wrote music using Jewish themes or that sounded Jewish, he said, because the Jews were tortured for so long that they learned to express suffering in dance music. Because even the music of happiness is happiness through tears, because it has that ambiguous quality, that haunting quality, and that music just blows me away. It really does. Shostakovich in his Jewish style, or Mahler when he quotes Jewish styles, the interlude and the Abschied from Das Lied von der Erde, which is almost klezmer music. And it has that heartbreaking, aching sadness, but at the same time, lyrical intensity and almost exaltation. And I hear that in this music. I hear that in Florence Price's music. The sadness is there, but also the hope, the vision of beauty, the resiliency of the human spirit. It's all there. And if the forms are not perfect or the orchestration is sometimes a little rocky, who cares? It doesn't make any difference. It still touches us, touches me in any case. So there you have it, my friends. Keep on listening. Thank you for joining me. Take care.